When Carroll O'Connor took on the role of Archie Bunker in 1971, he was 47 years old and had a modest career in theater. What followed changed everything. In the early years, his salary was about $25,000 per episode, but when the show became a ratings sensation, Carroll renegotiated million-dollar contracts, eventually earning more than $200,000 per episode at its peak. Beyond television, he invested in real estate in Malibu and diversified his income through his own productions. After All in the Family, he starred in the Heat of the Night, securing another decade of financial success. Carroll was known for his generosity, donating millions to educational causes. When he passed away in 2001, he left an estate estimated at $20 million. His widow continued to receive royalties from reruns that are still broadcast worldwide today, a legacy that proves talent and perfect timing can build lasting fortunes. Jean Stapleton was far from the spotlight when she accepted the role of Edith Bunker at age 48. In the first years of the show, her salary was modest, about $15,000 per episode, but it grew exponentially as the series became a cultural phenomenon. At its peak, Jean earned up to $75,000 per episode, a fortune in the 1970s. Unlike many of her peers, she invested cautiously. She bought a modest home in New York and put money into government bonds. After leaving the show in 1980, Jean made strategic choices, returning to Broadway and taking selective roles in film and television, always preserving her image. She avoided scandals, lived simply, and managed her money wisely. When she passed away in 2013, she left an estate estimated at $20 million. Her widow continued to receive royalties from reruns that are still broadcast worldwide today, a legacy that proves talent and perfect timing can build lasting fortunes. Sally Struthers was just 22 when she joined All in the Family as Gloria, the rebellious daughter. Her starting salary, a modest $5,000 per episode. But as the series took off, Sally's earnings skyrocketed to more than $50,000 per episode by the late 1970s. Smart and strategic, she used her fame to land lucrative advertising deals, becoming a spokesperson for charity campaigns that ironically also paid well. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Sally kept working steadily in sitcoms and theater, maintaining a consistent income stream. She invested in real estate in California and lived comfortably, though never lavishly. Interestingly, Sally never stopped working, even past her 70s, touring the country with stage productions. Today, her estimated net worth is around $6 million. Persistence and diversification have been her financial secrets. If you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get the next video as soon as it's posted. Rob Reiner joined All in the Family as Michael Stivic, the liberal son-in-law, earning about $10,000 per episode at the start. But Rob had bigger plans. As the show grew in popularity, his salary surpassed $75,000 per episode, yet his true financial leap came when he stepped behind the camera. In the 1980s, Rob directed hits like This Is Spinal Tap and When Harry Met Sally, earning millions as both a director and producer. He went on to found his own company, Castle Rock Entertainment, which became a major force in Hollywood. He invested in tech startups, bought mansions in Beverly Hills, and built an estimated fortune of $200 million. A political activist and philanthropist, he donates millions every year to progressive causes. Rob proved that stepping out of your comfort zone can multiply your wealth exponentially.
Sherman Hemsley started out as a stage actor, earning mere scraps when he was cast as George Jefferson. In the beginning, his salary on All in the Family was around $5,000 per episode, but when he landed his own spin-off, The Jeffersons, everything changed. At his peak, Sherman was earning $100,000 per episode, making him one of the highest-paid black actors in American TV. But his financial story is complicated. Despite millions in earnings, Sherman faced issues with taxes and money management. He invested in questionable projects and dealt with legal troubles. When he passed away in 2012, his contested estate was officially valued at about $50,000, but rumors persist about offshore accounts and ongoing family inheritance disputes. Sherman is remembered for his talent, but his financial journey serves as a cautionary tale about poor management. Isabel Sanford was 54 years old and financially stable, though not spectacularly wealthy when she was cast as Louise Jefferson. In the beginning, she earned around $7,000 per episode, but when the Jeffersons became one of television's biggest hits, Isabel's pay rose to more than $75,000 per episode. She was the first black woman to win an Emmy for Best Actress in a Comedy, which opened doors to advertising contracts and special appearances. Isabel invested in real estate in Los Angeles and lived comfortably without flaunting luxury. She kept working into her 80s, ensuring a steady income. When she passed away in 2012, she left an estate of approximately $3 million to her children. Isabel represents a generation of actors who built wealth through hard work, talent, and smart financial decisions. Danielle Brisebois joined All in the Family at just 8 years old, earning around $2,000 per episode. When the series became Archie Bunker's Place, her salary rose to $15,000 per episode, which was impressive pay for a child actor in the 1970s and 80s. But Danielle had other talents: music. After leaving television, she reinvented herself as a songwriter and music producer, working with artists like Natasha Bedingfield and writing hits that generated millions in royalties. She was nominated for both an Oscar and a Grammy, completely diversifying her income sources. She invests in music and tech startups and owns property in New York. Her estimated net worth today is around $4 million. Danielle proved that child stars can have brilliant second acts when they have the vision and talent to reinvent their careers. Lucille Ball wasn't exactly poor when I Love Lucy began in 1951, but what she built afterward was revolutionary. At the start, Lucille and Desi negotiated something unprecedented. In exchange for lower salaries, about $4,000 per episode, they demanded ownership rights to the show. This decision made them the first actors to own their own program. When they sold the rights years later, they received $5 million, an astronomical fortune for the time. Lucille founded Desilu Productions, which produced hits like Star Trek and Mission Impossible, earning her millions more. She bought mansions in Beverly Hills, collected art, and lived like Hollywood royalty. After divorcing Desi, Lucille continued running her business empire into the 1980s. When she died in 1989, she left an estate worth $40 million. Lucille wasn't just funny, she was a business visionary. Desi Arnaz was a Cuban musician with an unstable career when he created I Love Lucy with Lucille. But Desi had a business vision. He not only starred in the show, but also produced it and innovated technically, creating the 3-camera system that revolutionized television. At his peak, Desi earned about $350,000 per year from the show, plus profits from Desilu Productions. He invested in hotels, casinos, and real estate, accumulating millions.
However, Desi also had vices: alcohol, gambling, and women. After his divorce, he sold his share of Desilu to Lucille and lost a significant portion of his fortune to poor investments and an extravagant lifestyle. In his final years, Desi lived comfortably on royalties and guest appearances, but far from his former glory. When he died in 1986, he left about $20 million. Desi was a creative and entrepreneurial genius, but his excesses took their toll. Vivian Vance was a stage actress without significant resources when cast as Ethel Mertz. Her starting salary was only $2,500 per episode, much less than Lucille and Desi's. As the show grew, Vivian fought for raises, eventually earning $7,000 per episode toward the end. However, she faced constant contract battles and often felt undervalued. After I Love Lucy, Vivian remained on television and made modest investments in California real estate. She lived comfortably, but never reached the wealth of her colleagues. Vivian struggled with mental health issues and spent part of her fortune on medical treatments. When she passed away in 1979, she left about $1.5 million. Her story reveals how pay disparities affected even successful stars, and how health can impact finances over the long term. William Frawley was already a Hollywood veteran when he joined I Love Lucy at age 64 as Fred Mertz. His salary started at about $3,500 per episode and increased to $7,000 by the end of the series. Frawley was known for his frugal lifestyle and conservative investments. He bought government bonds and kept money in savings accounts. He never remarried after an early divorce and lived alone in a modest Hollywood apartment. After I Love Lucy, he worked on My Three Sons, ensuring a steady income until his sudden death in 1966. He left a remarkable estate of $2 million, impressive for someone who never flaunted wealth. William proved that living below your means and investing wisely can build solid wealth, even without extravagant salaries or a typical Hollywood lifestyle. Richard Thomas was just 21 years old when he became the heart of the Waltons as John Boy. His starting salary was modest, about $5,000 per episode, but it grew to $25,000 as the show topped ratings in the 1970s. Richard was young but smart. He invested in mutual funds and Manhattan real estate. After the Waltons, he returned to Broadway, touring in stage productions and making appearances in prestigious TV series. This diversification kept his income steady for decades. Richard never chased blockbuster roles, preferring quality and longevity. He owns property in New York and still works today in his early 70s. His estimated net worth is $6 million. Richard proved that you don't need to be a mega movie star to build a respected career and lasting wealth. Perhaps humility really is the true secret to financial success. Ralph Waite was already 44 years old with an uneven career when he was cast as the patriarch Jon Walton. His starting salary was about $8,000 per episode, growing to $35,000 at the height of the show's success. But Ralph had a turbulent financial history. Before the Waltons, he had faced bankruptcy due to poor investments and struggles with alcohol. The show's success was his redemption. Ralph invested in Southern California real estate and became a political activist, even running for Congress, unsuccessfully, but with considerable campaign expenses. He continued acting into his 80s, appearing in shows like NCIS and Bones. When he died in 1979, he left about $2 million. Ralph is an example of how second chances can transform financial destinies, but also how health can impact finances over the long term.
Michael Learned was 33 years old with 3 children when she was cast as Olivia Walton. Her salary started at $5,000 per episode, reaching $30,000 by the end of the series. As a divorced mother, she needed to support her family and negotiated each contract firmly. After the Waltons, she continued working steadily in TV and theater, garnering 4 Emmys over her career. Michael invested in California properties and maintained a low-key lifestyle. She went through 3 marriages, which impacted her finances through asset divisions. Still, Michael managed her resources well and continues to act occasionally. Her estimated net worth today is $3 million. Her story shows how divorced women in Hollywood needed to be especially strategic financially, balancing career, family, and economic independence admirably. Ellen Corby was already 61 years old when she began playing Grandma Esther Walton. A Hollywood veteran with decades of supporting roles, Ellen earned about $7,000 per episode at first, rising to $20,000. In 1976, she suffered a devastating stroke that temporarily took her off the show. But Ellen was resilient. She returned to the set with visible after effects, incorporating her condition into the character. This return was both artistic and financial, as she needed the income. Ellen lived modestly in Los Angeles, invested little, but spent even less. She worked until age 87 when she finally retired. When she died in 1999, she left about $1 million. A Hollywood veteran, Ellen represents a generation of actors who worked as long as they could when security and pensions were limited. Would we allow her to return to work today? Will Geer was 64 years old and had a career marked by political controversy when he was cast as Grandpa Zebulon Walton. In the 1950s, Will was blacklisted in Hollywood for his communist sympathies, which temporarily destroyed his finances. The Waltons became his redemption. He earned about $7,000 per episode, rising to $20,000 at the peak. Will invested in land in Southern California, creating a community theater on his property that became a haven for persecuted artists. He lived simply but generously, always supporting progressive causes. When he died in 1978, still during the series' run, he left about $500,000, a modest sum for an actor of his stature. But Will left an invaluable cultural legacy. His story demonstrates that wealth is not measured only in dollars, but also in impact and integrity. Judy Norton was only 13 when she started playing Mary Ellen Walton. As a child actress, her starting salary was about $1,500 per episode, rising to $10,000 as she grew older. Her parents managed her money, investing in trust funds that ensured her financial security. After the Waltons, Judy struggled to break free from the show's image, facing periods of unemployment. But she reinvented herself, becoming a producer, theater director, and even a country singer. In 1985, she caused a stir by posing for Playboy, a decision she defended as a personal choice and one that brought her a significant payout. Judy invests in real estate and continues to act occasionally. Her estimated net worth is $2 million. Her journey shows that child stars can enjoy successful second acts when willing to take risks and completely reinvent themselves. Jon Walmsley was a teenage Englishman when he was cast as Jason Walton, the musical son. His salary started at about $2,000 per episode, rising to $12,000 by the end of the series. But Jon's real talent was in music. He is a professional musician and began composing soundtracks during the series. After the Waltons, Jon focused entirely on music, playing in rock and country bands, producing albums, and working in recording studios. He moved back to England in the 1990s, investing in property in Cornwall. Jon never pursued additional fame as an actor, preferring stability and his passion for music. His estimated net worth is $1.5 million, modest by Hollywood standards, but the result of deliberate choices. Jon represents those who use early fame as a springboard for true passions, valuing happiness over maximum fortune. Mary Beth was just 10 years old when she began playing Erin Walton. Her starting salary was only $1,000 per episode, rising to $8,000 by the end of the series. Like many child stars, Mary Beth faced challenges after the show. Difficulty landing roles, self-image issues, and even a disastrous breast implant that resulted in serious health problems and lawsuits. But Mary Beth turned her struggles into opportunities. She authored books about her experiences, became a motivational speaker, and an activist for awareness about medical implants. She still acts occasionally and produces independent content. Her estimated net worth is $1 million. Mary Beth exemplifies how vulnerability can be transformed into strength, and how diversifying talents can sustain a long career even without iconic roles thereafter. How much is resilience really worth? Eric Scott was 14 when he began playing Ben Walton. His starting salary was modest, about $1,500 per episode, rising to $10,000 as he grew older. After the Waltons, Eric struggled to continue acting and made a drastic choice. He left Hollywood entirely. He became a courier for a service company, worked in construction, and eventually started his own business outside the entertainment industry. He invested his earnings from the series conservatively, living well below his means. In recent years, he rediscovered the show through fan conventions, where he sells autographs and memorabilia. His estimated net worth is about $500,000. Eric's story is one of pride, hard work, and the brutal reality that not every child star can sustain an acting career. Does he have any regrets? David Harper was just 10 when he began playing Jim Bob Walton. His salary was about $1,000 per episode, rising to $7,000 by the end of the series. His parents managed his money,
creating funds for his education. After the Waltons, David faced the same challenge as many young actors: severe typecasting. He tried to continue acting in the 1980s, but with little success. Eventually, David also left Hollywood and worked in various regular jobs, including technical production and corporate roles. He keeps a very low profile and rarely appears at the Waltons events. His estimated net worth is around $250,000. David's story is a sober reminder that a childhood on TV doesn't always translate to adult financial security, and that some people prefer privacy and normalcy over continuous exposure. Kami Cotler was only 6 years old when she was cast as Elizabeth, the youngest of the Waltons. As the youngest child in the cast, her starting salary was about $750 per episode, rising to $5,000 at the end of the series. Her parents were extremely careful with her money, investing everything for her future education. After the Waltons, Kami made a conscious decision. She left acting entirely and focused on her studies. She graduated in education from the University of California, became a teacher, and later an educational coordinator. Kami lives modestly in San Francisco, dedicated to public education, having chosen purpose over fame. She occasionally attends cast reunions, but maintains a strictly private life. Her estimated net worth is around $400,000, mainly from her parents' educational investments. Kami represents perhaps the most radical choice, trading Hollywood completely for a meaningful life out of the spotlight. Courage or wisdom?